Alright, it's time to put the handles on. This is a fairly easy task. We're gonna pop this insulation off. So far I'm really liking this. It's got the aluminum frame, so it's really lightweight. It's a good thickness on the frame, so it seems fairly sturdy. One thing I'm never real crazy about is how short these little handles are for Simpson power washers. But I did quite a bit of research, and for the money, this one is about the best setup I could find for the pump combination and the engine combination. So pretty pleased with it. Like I said, pressure washers are all about the engine and the pump. So you can see that's a little low. Of course that makes it handy for storage and stuff, but I'm pretty tall, so it makes me have to bend down to get to it. And what I'm doing here is just lining up the holes for the bolts. There we go. And this simply spins on with that knob or nut, and there we are. So there it is. It's not too bad. I'm about 6'3", 6'4", so it's not too bad a reach for me. All right, nozzle time. So we're gonna put this together. This is the gun, of course, down at the bottom. There's your trigger, and then there's the lance. So this just has the screw knob here, bezel or whatever you want to call it, and I'm just going to keep tightening that. Now if you notice, that wants to turn a little bit, so I'm going to take a adjustable wrench. We're just going to hold that and make sure it's nice and snug. Nothing ridiculous. There we go. So as you can see, it's quite long. It's probably close to 4 feet long. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this nozzle in the end. This is the 40-degree nozzle. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's the nozzle. And it just, you pull back on your quick connect, pop it in, let off the quick connect, and there you go. So that takes care of that. Next step is going to be to connect the hose. And before I do that, we'll go ahead and set up our camera here, and we'll load the rest of our tips. So it comes with a nice holder for the tips. See if you can see that. And they just plug in like so. So I've got a wash nozzle tip, then I have a 0 degree, put it there, and a 25 and a 15. So 15, 25, and I forgot what the one was on the end there. It is a 40. So we have a 40. Okay, it's time to hook up the hose. So we're going to get a pair of scissors here. If you've noticed, I've got the hose oriented in the direction it's going to go. It has these little elastic bands. They're holding it together, keeping it in a coil. I'm just going to cut those. This end goes to the pump. Alright, so this end goes to the pump. Hopefully you can see that. That just is a quick connect, so we're going to slide that in. Just that easy. And then our gun hooks up like this. There we go. And it rides over here. There we go. It's kind of an awkward setup, I think. It's very low. So I can see me unhooking the gun, really carrying it separately, because it's kind of unwieldy to maneuver. And then of course the hose wants to come off the reel. So anyway, something you ought to be aware of if you want to buy one of these. It's not what I would consider a perfect setup, but I guess it's okay for storage and that type of thing. But so there it is. As you can see, probably could use a little improving. Maybe I'll make that into another video at some point on how to improve the cord on there, but for now it'll do the job. Okay, time to put the oil in there. So Hondas are really easy. You just have this little oil dipstick. Pull that out. You need to try to keep that clean. And put your funnel in there. Let's see, we're using Mobil 1 synthetic 10W30. They recommend this for this grade for general purpose. Going synthetic's probably a little much, but I've got this on hand, and what the heck. So I'm just gonna fill this up basically till it runs out of that fill port, honestly. I think it holds around a quart, and after we get that done, we'll do some air pressure check on the tires. I think one's a little low, and we'll get ready to start it up. Alright, it's fuel time. So they're real particular about making sure you know to use some sort of ethanol type treatment. So I use what's the name of it? Stabil in my gasoline usually, and so I'll treat the tank, treat the gas, make sure that the tank doesn't get any kind of buildup or any issues with the carburetor gumming up, because it's real likely to happen nowadays with the ethanol fuel. You gotta love the quality of a Honda engine. I mean, look at that. Gas cap is just gorgeous. No one else makes stuff like that. None of the other small engine companies. That's why Honda sells so many engines. It's all about the quality. If you're a pro kind of workers, you don't have time to put up with a bunch of junk. You want good stuff. So I'm going to put a little gas in here. I believe this is 89 octane. It's mid-grade. I'll just fill this up. We'll put a pretty good amount in there just so it doesn't evaporate on us. This power wash will get used over the next few weeks. And of course, with the Honda engine, you can shut the fuel off, which I highly recommend. So shut it off down here at the fuel shut-off lever. And then when it dies on you, that means it's out of gas, of course. And at least you don't have any fuel in the carburetor that can gum up and go bad. Over long-term storage, maybe more than a month, I recommend emptying the tank, which basically means just run it till you run out of gas. We're about ready to start it up. Good looking outfit. You can see my gun on there, and I have my nozzles. So I think we're ready. Now there is a startup procedure, of course, for this thing, and we're gonna review that. So I'll be moving outside now so we can go over that startup procedure. This power washer has never been started, and you will be seeing it start just like I've seen it start. So if it has a problem, you're going to see it just like I will. Almost forgot. Gotta check the air. So one of the tires seemed a little low. So we're gonna take our air pump here and fill it up. When you're doing this, make sure you always follow the tire's recommendation. So I've got one of those Milton American-made inflators. Man, you talking about handy. Has a little built-in gauge, and if you got a lot of vehicles that have a lot of tires, this thing is great. So let's put the max was 40. Let's go ahead and put 30. We want the tires to be the same diameter on both sides so the vehicle is, the pressure washer is level. Okay, so one last thing we got to check. Actually, two things. Let's run back in here real quick so I don't forget. So the pump also has oil, and as you can see there in the sight glass, I think you can see that sloshing around. It does have oil, so that's one thing you want to make sure you check. So let's run back out here to the water source. One thing you want to do is you want to make sure you have 5 gallons per minute. What's the best way to measure that? Well, we got the iPad, and we have the bucket of it's 5 gallons. So I'm going to hit start on the iPad, on the timer, and here we go. See how fast we can fill up that 5 gallons. 34 seconds, about 40 seconds, and it's full. Oh, so we're good. Just make sure you do that because you don't want to starve your pump. It could cause problems.